We'd be good together, don't you think?
No,
Why?
because I'll break your heart.
Maybe I'll break yours.
Nobody breaks my heart.
Today is International Spicy Workers' Rights Day. What does that mean? That means it's your chance to spoil your local spicy worker. Buy them something off their wish list. Send them a shit ton of money. Spread education. You have the power.
Hi, I'm an in-person SW and I've been so for about 12 years now. For me, like a lot of service industry jobs, some days are great, some days are bad, and some days are relatively neutral. For the most part, it's just work, and I'd rather be doing this than doing anything else that's accessible to me. It's the one job that accommodates my needs as a person who is chronically ill, and unfortunately needs to take a lot of days off to recover or deal with my chronic illness. And the amount that I'm paid relative to the amount of labor that I do helps to compensate for my body just hating me. I'm able to live really comfortably, live in a nice apartment in a nice neighborhood, have savings, investments, travel when I want to, and have the time and ability to manage living in this human body that I've got. So I do enjoy some aspects of my work, mainly being able to survive this capitalistic hellscape that we call a country. What I don't love is the stigma and violence that is oftentimes directed at people like me who turn to this line of work because there aren't many options.
Men are the easiest thing in the entire world. If you are wondering how you and another woman got the same man, it is because men are the easiest thing in the entire world. I have never wanted a man and not gotten him. Do you have any idea how many men have wanted me and not gotten me? There has never been a single man that I have wanted that I have not gotten, because men
I downloaded Hinge this year. I've never had a dating app in my life before, and I'm glad because it's terrible. But so when I do match with someone and someone piques my interest on there, I try not to start off the conversation with "What do you do?" because that feels shallow in itself. But
so you start with like a gentle sext. You're like, can I send you something weird?
Weird. Here's
like,
my link.
Yeah, you're like, subscribe here. You can see whatever.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I literally woke up like this. Makeup is flaking the fuck off. Slept in it, didn't give a shit. Anyway, I wanted to go on a little rant because I have seen such an uptick in people wanting to create spicy pages. And as someone who's been in the spicy network for 9 years now, in that industry, I just want you to know that you need to consider everything, and I do mean everything, before starting a spicy page. This shit is not easy, okay? It might be fast money, but it is not easy money, okay? You need to consider who all's gonna see it, because they will eventually, alright? You need to consider your work ethic, consistency.
Hi, I'm Louise. I am a former youth pastor, former science teacher, a former drug user, a current sex worker, and a full-time counselor. Even if someone is an online personality, it's important to look at them complexly. I am much more than just a sex worker. I am much more than an addict.
So she's a professional degenerate and someone counseling the youth? No wonder why the West is failing. The whole point to a youth counselor is to prevent girls from becoming adult entertainers. That's a clear sign of failure in life. Because once a sex worker or a hoe, always one. There's no phases or recovering from that. She's already deep in the cock carousel black hole. Just like modern women, she wants to live life without accountability. And worst of all, she's going to influence the younger generation of girls to do the same and think the same.
The voice that I've kind of created for myself out there in the public, and the more I understand how much further we have to go for sex worker rights, I think I've made a conscious decision that I don't intend to leave until I see some of the sex worker rights improve. I don't know how long that's going to take. It might never happen. Maybe I'm going to be a sex worker till I'm 90, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. There's still a little bit too much work to be done before I leave.
The so-called voice she created for herself is the hoe kind. Who is she and these feminist 304 pros trying to fool with these elaborate descriptions of their work as if they're an Oscar award-winning actor? Spreading the legs and just panning the camera down needs no method acting. There's no secret to it. And her choice to fight for the streetwalkers is a massive cope. She's making a necessity out of virtue. No great man will ever commit to her, and she knows that. That's why she's on her feminist crusade. And I hate to give her the bad news, but once she hits the wall, her appeal will drop like a stone in the water. The same simps who subscribe to see a cute chick won't be around once she turns into a hag. She's going to learn that this is a two-way street. Just like she likes simps for their money, they like her for her looks. Let's read the comments. Chick commented, "These girls seem more proper than lots of the YouTubers and Instagrammers. Spoiler alert, they're all trash. So it's like comparing vomit to shit." Someone responds to the comment, "The operative word is seem. Everything is a facade, especially their business. It's just professionalism actually. Random people on social media just take it as their private audience, so they're more natural and don't put on airs. These chicks are pros into fooling the men who get rejected by most women, thinking that they're rock stars and Chaz. They also know how to play the innocent angle really well because it makes the men they interact with forget they suck a lot of privates to pay the bills. Just like you have to get X amount of work done to get paid so you can pay your mortgage, car note, or rent. These nightwalkers gotta give X amount of quickie BJs and receive raw dogs to make enough for the weekly stay or rundown hotel they live at." Dude comments, "All three of them are so pretty. If they didn't have any type of appeal, they'd be broke. So of course, they're going to be decent looking at least." Another comment said, "The perspectives are fascinating. They are incredible ladies. Living in America, sex workers face discrimination. Except for Nevada. Other states prosecute the workers and somehow give the people seeking sex a free pass. It's time for legalized sex work. And if you are opposed to sex work, do not participate or hire someone for sex." Can simps stop blowing smoke up their ass? No. Incredible ladies are mothers who stay at home and raise 5 kids while the father works a hard job. These chicks are typical thoughts who are at least upfront and honest that they want money for sex. Most modern women will do this, but call it dating.
I've lost my whole family and it sucks. So a lot of times when people ask me if they should do porn, I tell them no. I tell them that it makes life really hard. It makes dating really hard. It makes your family life really hard. It makes intimacy hard. You're putting yourself out there and the world is now judging you. You have to be okay with being shamed every day of your life. I don't even want to have children because I do porn because I'm worried of the way that people will treat my child. With me personally, my mom was supportive in the beginning. She kind of just let me do whatever, that I think it was a good thing. I had a lot of freedom. As time progressed and I became successful, I started to feel like my mom was using me so that she could live a more luxurious lifestyle. When I started to set like these boundaries, not giving her money or things like that, it made our relationship a bit more difficult and almost toxic. And so it sucks. I don't have a mom anymore. I don't talk to her. I miss having a mom. I feel like you can't rewind and you can't go back. I don't have that relationship with her anymore. I don't ever think I will. And that bums me out. Bums me out a lot. I talked to my dad and he struggles with my job being in the industry. He's also religious. Recently I wanted to go visit him and he said that I can't go visit because his wife, my stepmom, doesn't want me there. I'm not allowed to go visit my dad anymore because my stepmom doesn't like that I do porn. But then he told me that when I was like, can we like go get coffee and like we could go like get breakfast, and he's like, I don't want to be seen in public with you. And that just hurt so bad and it sucks. I lost my family. I don't talk to like my brothers or sisters. I think that they all kind of like try to take advantage of me and stuff, or they're just like, my dad don't want to be around me.
At least the pro-ho is going to spare a kid from dealing with the consequences of her actions. For right now, wait till she has baby rabies, like when she's post-wall and her body is telling her to procreate to maybe lock down a man. Her wish upon a star to not be single for the rest of her life. And it sounds like she was raised by, you guessed it, a single mom. And so of course, the single mom is going to cheer her on to leech off of her. Single moms, as I've always said, are worse than worthless. They're a liability and a loss. They don't add to your life, they take. The mom of this OnlyFans model literally helped her daughter ruin her life so she can use the daughter as an ATM. Talk about pissing in your own well. It's sad. That's feminism for you. The modern woman would cut her own nose to spite her face. What do people think? Top comment says, for what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Brilliant. What's the point of being successful if you have no friends or family? This is what most OnlyFans models are gonna face. Not only the men they want don't want to commit to them, but their family and friends will disown them. Another comment said, few years back she said that everyone should do porn. It's all fun and games until there's consequences. Women's kryptonite. I guess a simp comments, the irony is, people judge her because they recognize her, and they recognize her because they watch her. A simple Google search of her pics or name will make any man aware of her X-rated life. And she doesn't care about her subscribers, because they're simps and there's a good reason why they're on OnlyFans. What she cares about are men who don't need OnlyFans. Someone responds to the comment, there is no irony there. Dude responds, there is, because the people who judge her also consider the consumption of her work to be wrong, and yet they have to consume her work to know who she is so they can judge her. A lot of guys find out about her through social media like this video. I personally didn't know she even existed until I came across her video on YouTube. And honestly, if I saw her face in 6 months in a lineup, I wouldn't remember this basic bitch. Another comment. What I never get is, surely the consequences of doing porn, such as alienating yourself from parents, are entirely predictable. So, given the inevitable issues it's going to cause, why do they do it in the first place? Because there's not a strong enough stigma in society against it. Also, these modern women are attracted to money and fame like flies to shit. They were raised wrong, probably lost their virginity at a young age, so their mental development is stunted to the equivalency of a teenager. But most importantly, they've never faced real consequences in life because they look good. Their whole life has been on easy mode. Men put up with their bad behaviors, their weak fathers, if they're around, spoil them. They can get out of DUIs and traffic tickets. They'll push the limits until they kill someone or do porn. And then it's too late. It can't be undone.
There's like some comedians like back in the day that just got chastised and run off, and it was really terrible.
I don't think I would ever run a woman off for that. There's a lot of things I've run off for, but showing a tit.
I've dated guys who were like, oh yeah, that's totally fine, like totally cool, and then a couple months in, they're just like, I don't really like think that, like, why don't you stop? And I'm like, no.
Why?
Yeah. Because they don't want other people looking at it, because I'm now their property in their head.
Listen.
You know how men.
To me, men undress your woman anyway when she walking down the street, whether she's in Walmart or anyway.
Oh,
now, granted, they didn't see a butt ass naked, but they still look
I
at because I sexual
exactly. All the time.
They're not seeing her as property, but realizing that they're paying the full price for something men get for a price of a Happy Meal. It's like buying a car but never getting to drive it. What's the point of investing in it then? To be fair, it's the simp's fault for trying to first date a Pro 304, but also they're trying to change her when it's never gonna happen. There's a saying you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and that's because it's been tried and it has failed every time. Let's read the comments. Top comment, simp. That's funny. And he responds, bless you brother, have a great day. It's just sad he's throwing away his dignity trying to justify these OF models. Another dude comments, he'll say anything in hopes she will touch it. This is great. We need more people to call out the simps and manginas. They're doing more harm than good, just to get pity sex. And chances are, there will be no happy ending.
Holly and Nellie are meeting 44-year-old Angela, who recently left the glamour world behind and now runs a successful clothing line.
This is how I looked before my plastic surgery.
In the last 19 years, Angela has had more than 45 cosmetic procedures and spent nearly £50,000 in a bid to stay ahead in the glamour industry.
I've seen very, very few women be able to successfully use the industry towards their benefit. You have to have some kind of plan. Otherwise, you are going to be 40 years old, you are going to have no skills, I'm sure you'll be beautiful when you're 40, but you're still going to be a 40-year-old stripper.
My stage name was Monique. It got really hard after a while to feel like what everyone wanted me for was my sexuality, and feeling like no one saw value in me for anything other than that. Who are you really? What is your true self? And I would say that anything that takes you away from that is something to really think about.
At least these pro suckers are honest. The old hag hit a bunch of walls, so if she's really in her 40s and has $50,000 worth of surgeries, she must look like roadkill without them. And for the streetwalker who claimed men only saw her for one thing, that's the price she got to pay from doing that work. Because at the end of the day, that's her true value. She traded her dignity to make easy money. She can't have it both ways.
My hot take about the sex industry and sex work is that it is really hard. And sometimes it is really traumatic. And honestly, things don't need to be the way that they are. Like, at all. But I don't feel like sex workers really ever have safe spaces to openly talk about their jobs or the trauma they face or like the violence they possibly endure, because people are always trying to rescue us or save us or talk over us or create an in-access to an industry we literally rely on, or perpetuate more violence and stigma and criminalization. And like, it sucks because at the same time that I'm making videos about my sugar daddy, I also can't talk about the times he's tried to assault me. Because then people will just be like, well, you can't keep seeing your sugar daddy. And then I'm like, well, yeah, but also I need to keep paying my bills. And I think a lot of that also aids to, like, people are always like, you guys glamorize and glorify an industry. And it's like, no, we don't. No, we don't. We have to lean into respectability politics and only share certain aspects of this. And we're also dealing with stigma and criminalization and fucking censorship that none of y'all bitches want to get in the boat and have a conversation with us about, because, like, you don't think that censorship affects you. That's real loud right now. That is real loud. But, like, every time sex workers do try to hold space and, like, take up space to be like, sometimes this shit isn't great and it's hard and XYZ, I'll have my clients being like, is this about me? Do I make you sad? I'll have swerps and radfems and just the most ill-intended motherfuckers, you know, co-opting the violence I face at work to perpetuate more violence and inaccess to me at work. I mean, leftists, other feminists, whole swaths of, like, progressive groups and motherfuckers, like, do not want to listen, collaborate, engage, hold space, please, bangs, please. And I think it's annoying. Especially when I watch, like, swerfs and radfems, like, spend so much time reaming against an industry they themselves are not struggling to survive in. And, like, when my legislators spend so much time, like, conflating sex work with trafficking. And it's like, we're right here. Generations of workers are right here, actually. Different types of workers doing different types of work. And, like, I know everyone and their mom has some lukewarm take about, like, fucking sex work. But, like, damn, that whorephobia is deep, dude. I mean, there are times I've, like, talked about my job and then motherfuckers would be like, just go get a new job. As if so many people are not turning to this line of work to be accommodated in some regard. And I know it's the hypervisibility and the way in which civilians glorify and glamorize this shit. But it's hard. And I wish I could be more honest about the realities of how hard it is without that violence being co-opted or, I don't know, me losing a whole platform.
That's hilarious that the feminists are attacking each other. We need more of that. Get the popcorn out and watch these bitches catfight. She can't complain about it. She chose to live this lifestyle knowing the risks. The sugar daddy assaulted her, but she sure came back to him for that extra dollar. And how do you know it was true assault and not her stopping his advances that he paid for? She keeps on saying it's hard. No, it's not. That's why she's doing it to avoid hard and real work. That is, staying a virgin till marriage, staying in shape, or doing a real job like engineering or plumbing. Try tarring roofs in the middle of summer on the East Coast. That's hard work. let's see the comments. I love this video. Sex workers, including me, have to deal with constant marginalization from the religious right and anti-SW activists. Apparently, feminists look down on them too. That's what she was complaining about. Another comment, on disability, I think that's really interesting because we don't think about SW with disabilities who can't work in a regular space but can make a lot. That's what a lot of these feminists claim. They're disabled so they can't do regular jobs. Yet, there are people in wheelchairs working corporate jobs all the time, or honest jobs at home like coding or transcribing. But that's actual work, and most modern women are too dumb or lazy to do real work.
You're a feminist doing that's empowering, yet you're relying on creepy, disgusting men who think you are disgusting and trash to ironically pay your bills, which is probably the most degrading thing in the entire world.
I am normally a support all women girly. It is 2023, bitch. I have no more patience for ignorant women like this constantly slandering, talking down on, and literally speaking over SWs, especially when they try and use the guise of feminism to further push their ridiculous point. The second we are brought into this world, we are taught to make ourselves smaller, more obedient, and if we follow this set of rules, which we will later find out were created by the patriarchy and we should never dare question, we will be rewarded and have amazing, fulfilling lives. Misogyny is so deeply ingrained and normalized in our society. If we are not actively working to unlearn fucked up shit that we have been taught, that internalized misogyny will become so fucking loud. I know some women believe if they side with the oppressor, they echo that same hateful rhetoric, they will be absolved from the abuse, violence, and misogyny of the patriarchy. And sure, in that moment, the men may choose you, but only to further push their hatred and lack of respect for women. At the end of the day, still don't view you as an equal. And if given the chance, they would do the exact same things to you they would do to the SWs that you are speaking down on.
Whereas actually, if you were in an office, it would be a lot less degrading. You could actually have respect in an office.
The same offices are riddled with SA and harassment, ones filled with sexism and unequal pay, same offices that will work you to the fucking ground, ask you for unwavering loyalty and lifelong commitment, steal your ideas as their own, only to fire you the minute you fall ill or get pregnant or are mentally unwell. Why is being an SW one of the only professions where we have think pieces on whether or not it is empowering? We ask plumbers if they feel empowered. We ask construction workers and professional athletes how they feel selling their body. This is capitalism, bitch. Unless you are the upper echelon 1%, we are all selling our bodies, selling our labor for a fucking check. Choosing your own hours, working remotely, screening your clients, some getting paid exceptionally well. It may not be for you, and that's fine. But mind your fucking business.
No one with any level of a brain would ever respect someone who does.
Men hate SWs because they have to pay for something they believe they are entitled to. Women hate SWs because men told them to. Because the patriarchy made you so ashamed, stripped away the joy of exploring your own body and pleasure. Being confident with your body and your sexuality was deplorable. Because how else could men get what they want from you when they want it? It is so fucked up that we have been taught to feel this way, but it is our job to unlearn it. There are conversations that could be had about SW. Exploitation, safety for all, decriminalization, censorship. But no one's talking about that on these podcasts. They just want to slut shame and tell themselves that they are in a higher tier of society because of some broken moral compass decided by some of the worst people on earth. If there was no demand, how would they be making money? Your anger is in the wrong fucking place. And there is no feminism without SWs.
Is she trying to be an X-Men with those claws? Like, you know the bitch is certified useless when the nails are longer than her fingers. But the real question is, how does she wipe her ass? Maybe a simp cleans it for her. And no wonder why she's single. She lives life on easy mode with her looks and she acts like she's oppressed. And like I said, super funny that the prostitutes and some feminists are going to war with each other. Both suck, but the hookers suck more. No pun intended. And back to her claims, did this dumb hoe really claim that athletes didn't like to work or didn't feel empowered? A benchwarmer in the NBA is richer than 99% of the people in America. These athletes are treated like gods. When LeBron James tweets, it makes the news. Also, a lot of plumbers are super happy. They make over $50 an hour, which is 6 figures per year. They're debt-free because they didn't get a worthless major. They're usually homeowners at a young age, and if someone treats them like shit, that person will be living in shit because the plumber can go to the next person who needs their pipes fixed. A plumber will never run out of work because some fat fuck will always clog the toilet. The comments are full of other women co-signing her delusions. You dropped this. Well said. Louder. I'm early, and I love this. You killed it as always. Thought comments. If men can use my beauty for their own goals, then damn it, I will too. I'll use creepy man money to pay my bills. Why not? What goals? And how do they use her beauty? Thought it was her body, her choice. And these 304s will say anything to justify their degeneracy. More comments saying something similar. Having creepy men pay my bills for 20 minutes of my time versus 50 hours a week sounds like a power move to me. I'm unsure how getting creepy guys who don't respect me to pay my bills is worse than working for a creepy boss who doesn't respect me. Taking advantage of shitty men? Sign me up. I'm exploiting gross men actually, and it's very fulfilling. You hear that, simps? This is what these 304s really think of you when you sub to their OnlyFans or cash up them $200 for feet pics. These strong and independent women sure like to rely on men to make money. None of them are talking about learning to code so they don't have to deal with creepy men, or God forbid, marry a great guy with a great job so they don't have to deal with creepy guys. It's all this fake power BS of allowing creepy guys to desecrate them in exchange for their bills to be paid. Let's check in on her once this thought hits the wall or once someone creates an AI version of her so she can't make money off her looks. Let's see if she has the same energy. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.